Hello, welcome back to bennystake. I'm your girl Benny, and today I just thought we'd sit it up, do our makeup. I'm getting ready for church, and I just had a couple things that I wanted to talk about. I recently made a post. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. And all the makeup that I'm using are going to be linked in the description box, all of the things. But I just want to go ahead and get started. So I recently made a post, essentially, because I kept seeing this online, and this quote was saying, the woman that you're becoming will cost you people, places, and things, but choose her anyway, like choose her no matter what, right? And being me, if you don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok, please go ahead and check me out. Like on those platforms, I feel like we have a lot of fun. Like I just say everything that's on my mind, but it's more comical than it is, I feel like, serious. And so being me, I took that quote and went ahead and made a post essentially saying that who y'all trying to become, that y'all gotta get rid of everybody in your life, right? And so a couple comments were coming in. None of them were negative, but as the comments were coming in, I realized, like, wait, I really failed to provide any context. And we all know how the social medias work. But if you just say anything without providing context, people are gonna eat your life. And I was like, in this case, rightfully so, because I didn't really provide much thought. I just said it in a joking way and carried on about my business. And I was like, that's low-key responsible, because on that platform I have a lot of people following me, and I just want to be a little bit more responsible with what I'm saying, how I'm saying them. So with that said, I'm gonna use this video to essentially clarify, not that I'm taking anything back, because I said what I said. I stand by it, but I feel like this is one of those topics that's just so nuanced, that multiple perspectives can literally coexist. And in that video, I didn't allow for any other opinion to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't provide my full thoughts, So when I see quotes like that, first thing I'm saying is like, okay, first of all, I hate that a lot of people have people in their lives that have caused them so much heartache and so much pain that they're willing to actually let them go as they're progressing, right? And so the context that I should have provided as to where those thoughts came for me, I was born and raised in the Congo. And for those of you that do not know your geography, Congo is one of the countries in Central Africa. It is responsible for the fact that a lot of us have cell phones. Like, it's just has so much, natural resources and everything in between. And by the way, I want to plug it in here that currently the Congo is experiencing what they're considering, or what they're calling, a silent genocide. So if there's anything that you can do to pray, to support financially, anything that you can do for my people, please do it. Banamboka wazokufa every other day. Like, my people are dying every other day, so that Western culture and Western population can have resources. And that's just wrong all throughout. That's very, very much wrong all throughout. And I've been praying. I still have family back home, and I've been really praying. And so if there's anything that you can do, any way that you can support, please obviously take advantage of that. So that's essentially the country that I come from, right? I come from Congo, and one of the things that I've really enjoyed about my upbringing, now we had our difficulties and the ways that we grew up, but one of the things that I really genuinely loved was the community. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in an environment where everybody knew everybody. Like, my pastor lived close enough to us. My teachers were close enough. Like, it was one of those things where, like, if you did anything you were not supposed to do, and you thought nobody saw you and nobody would tell your mama, you were bravely mistaken. You were gravely mistaken, because one thing about them aunties and them, uncles in the neighborhood, baby, they was gonna tell on you every single time. And so the beauty of that was that even when when I was out and about, or when my mom would leave us at home, she knew that if we did anything that we were not supposed to do, she would know about it, given the fact that, you know, everybody was watching out for everybody. Like my mom did the same thing with other people's kids. So if she saw Sally down the neighborhood where Sally wasn't supposed to be, she'd tell Sally, take your behind at home, or I'm gonna call your mama. And even if Sally took her behind at home, my mama still gonna go ahead and call her mama because, girl, you knew better. So we grew up in that kind of community. We grew up in that kind of environment where everybody looked out for everybody. We valued, you know, our connection. We valued our neighbors. We visited our neighbors, sometimes unannounced, you know. And so there are pros and cons to it, but like one of the biggest blessings that came out of that for me was that I grew up with such a strong sense of community. Like I always knew my people were around, you know, my family was around, but also like my neighbors, my pastor was around, my teachers were around, and everybody was looking out for me. So it really kept you on my toes. Now let's be honest, when I was a kid, I didn't like that, because I was like, yo, like mind your business for real. But as an adult, like, yo, I've gone to really appreciate that, because fast forward, now I'm in a Western culture where it's me, myself, and I. Like, solo, you only live once, do what you want to do for your own self, do what you want to do for your own gain, do what you want to do, and don't regard your own family, don't regard your own, you know, community. And that to me was a shocker. And especially now that we have cell phones, you will see people getting together and it looks as though they don't care about each other, because we've really lost that sense of community that I grew up loving, that I grew up appreciating, that I grew up just, you know, wanting to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? And so when I see posts like this, let me reel it in together. When I see posts like this, that's like the places of the women that you're becoming is going to cost you all these things, but get rid of your entire community, get rid of your entire whatever, for you to become that woman that you want to become. I get the sentiment, because again, this is the context that I should have provided. Not everybody has great families that they feel as though they can rely on. You know, so many people have come from families that were abusive. I'm talking about mentally, physically, emotionally, and all of those things. So many people come from such families, so I can understand wanting to remove yourself from said spaces. But if we get rid of all those, you know, extremes, right? We see a lot of people who are so individualistic minded that they forget that we were actually created to exist in a community. And if there are any issues between you and your brothers, any issues between you and your friends, can we come together, talk about it, and figure out how we can move forward before getting rid of everybody? You know, I think in my post, what I was specifically talking about was this idea of, I'm just gonna cut everybody out, I'm doing me, this is what it's gonna be, I'm focusing on me, I don't care about nobody else, I'm just focusing on me. That's more so what I was talking about, that level of individualism that forgets that we were actually created for community. We were actually created to exist in communion with each other, you know? So for me, having come from that background, and I am also a Christian, and so Christianity really encourages this idea of, you know, caring about your brother and sister, making sure that the people around you are good, making sure that you're caring about your neighbor, you know, because Jesus, he left the 99 to go after the one. You know, Jesus was around everybody that was ostracized, everybody that was, you know, a sinner, everybody that was all of those things. Jesus welcomed everybody. Now, granted, Jesus had boundaries, you know, in certain areas, and I'm not saying like people shouldn't have boundaries around who they allow in their space, but I'm noticing that Western culture will really try to play you. Like Western culture would really sit over here and make you feel as though, you know, me, myself, and I is enough. No, baby. You need somebody in your life. Now, another context that I should have provided was, if the family that you have or the people that you grew up with were not serving you well, yes, you can put distance around them, but then again, you have to then build another community so that you're not a loner. You know, I do not want to become an island. There is no version of me that I want to become. There's no version of me that I'm admiring. There's no version of anybody that I'm admiring that's gonna cause me to forsake any kind of community, you know. And I feel as though I should have been very clear with that, because again, if people are toxic, get rid of it. If somebody's beating up on you, get rid of them. But then again, once you are healed, once you've become in a much better place, work on creating other communities that are not going to be toxic, that's not going to be abusive, that's not going to be all of those, you know, towards you. Instead of saying, now that I'm healed, now that I'm woke, now that I'm all of those things, I don't need nobody else. That's unhealthy. And I feel as though that's what I was really trying to say, but I did a poor job at saying that. And for that, I just want to own that, you know. I needed to add a little bit more context. I needed to add a little bit more like, oh, what do you actually mean? In a way that I know I didn't. But that's that, you know, because it's like, yo, this life is scary. This life really is scary. And a lot of us, if we're being honest with each other, we can, if we're really being honest, we can acknowledge that these social media times where everybody's just like, you know, posting about themselves, is a little lonely. Like, if a lot of us are honest with ourselves, a lot of us, you know, we actually miss being outside. We actually miss, you know, having games and engaging in community and being amongst our people. A lot of us, if we're truly honest, if we stop lying, like I don't need nobody, if we stop lying, like we can actually admit that, you know, there was some beauty in how folks did it back in the day. There was beauty pre-internet. There was beauty pre, you know, this individualistic, me, myself, and I type kind of mentality. I don't need nobody. And that's just like what I'm saying, you know what I mean? And for me, I have like this thing around my home when we're meeting, like especially when we're having dinner, you're not gonna have your phone. Like, if you wanna be on your phone, go back home. Like, even when I got married, my husband and I, we were very, very intentional. Granted, people still disrespected this rule, but at least it wasn't as bad as it could have been, because people would literally choose to be on their phones instead of them being present and actually celebrating you and celebrating your love and celebrating the moment that you're actually in. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not anti, you know, memories. I'm not anti creating memories, because, you know, it's good to look back on it, but it should not trump you being present now, right? Like, if we're sitting and we're having dinner, put your phone down. It's like 45 minutes, it's an hour, put your phone down. Nothing's gonna be happening on Instagram, you know? And I'm really showing my age right now. But nothing's gonna be happening on Instagram, you know? Put your phone down, look people in the eye, you know, come up with a joke. You know what I'm saying? Just like ask people questions, connect with people. We're losing connection, you know, and that's what I was mostly, you know, speaking on. Because it's important. Like, life is so short. When my life is all done and said, it's not going to matter the content that I created. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter the whatchamacallit. It's not going to matter the likes that I got on a post. It's going to matter how I felt when I was around the people that loved me, and how people felt when they were around me. And so if doing a little bit more work to maintaining the community that you do have, if putting a little bit more thought and a little bit more action, a little bit more, you know, sacrifices in maintaining the people in your life, again, if they're toxic, of course, get rid of them. But if I'm talking about just like we're disagreeing, we may not see, you know, things eye to eye, it doesn't mean you're hating on me, and it doesn't mean that I'm hating on you. Sometimes, you know, it takes people being close to you so that they can correct you. We all have blind spots. We really have all blind spots. We all have blind spots. I remember a little while ago, I created this content. It was on a dating show, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, like I was out here sharing my thoughts, doing the whole 9 yards. And the way I did in that video, it just was not, it wasn't very kind. It wasn't the way I typically would speak of anybody. It wasn't the way I typically would speak of anything. And it was my mother, y'all. My mom was like, did you post that? Are you gonna keep it up? Because that's not you. That's not how you speak to anybody. That's not how you speak to anything. It doesn't matter if other people are doing it. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna talk like that. You're not gonna move like that. And in that moment, I could have been like, my mama is hating on me. My platform is growing. People are saying my videos. She's just trying to be a hater. You know, I need to move in silence. I need to like, no. I really had to sit back and be like, there may be validity in this, and there was validity in that. That video needed to go. And that came from me surrounding myself with people who actually, you know, love me, people who actually care about me, and people who actually thinking, you know, good things about me. And so that's important, and that's all I was trying to say. I should have provided more context, but, you know, we live and we learn. So I stand by my thoughts. There is no version of me that I'm trying to become that's never gonna value community. Now, if the community I currently have, it's not working out after I've done all of the things, after we've both just like put in work and it's still not working out, then by all means, you know, we can just go our separate ways. But if we go our separate ways, trust and believe, I'm finna find new people, I'm finna find new friends, I'm finna find new whatever, you know. You can't, I know I can't change your father, I cannot change your mother, but there are people who can provide me with certain values. If my mom is not able to provide me that, if my dad is not able to provide me with that, I can surround myself with other older people who I can respect, who I can value, or whatever the case is. But my point is, I'm always gonna have community. In a nutshell, I'm always gonna have community. And there were times where I didn't prioritize that because, again, even I bought into this mindset of like, you know, I'm gonna do me, it's gonna be killed, like it's, you know. And baby, it got lonely. You know, it got really lonely, and I had to put boundaries around who was going to be around me or not, but I still had to bring people back, because don't let people fool you. Don't let people fool you. You need your neighbor. You know, you need your neighbor, whether that be, you know, through friendship, whether that be through mentorship. You need somebody to do life with. You can't just sit here and be by yourself. You know what I'm saying? But comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this. How do you usually deal with these issues, like, you know, around community versus individualism? Like, are you more individual based? Do you like, you know, I pretty much just like, you know, I go solo, you know, like I'm a alpha male, I'm an alpha female, you know, we don't move in packs, we move solo. I be like, y'all sound depressing in that. Child, ain't nothing I'm trying to do all the time by myself. Fam, give me friends, you know. But let me know where you fall on this. What led you to that down in the comments. Please be respectful, please be kind, and all of those things. Yo, my makeup is coming together. It really is coming together. But yeah, those were my thoughts, y'all. If you have anything you want to add to this, please use the comments to do so. Well, I'm actually running behind for church now. Jesus help me. Forgive me, Lord. Just gotta do a little lipstick. I'm not doing nothing crazy. Yeah. Do y'all get rid of your lipsticks? Bruh. I was like 25 when I realized that makeup can expire. I kept putting it on. Like, I didn't give a damn. So now I'm like, yeah, I gotta read expiration date. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and I'm not ready for this. This is a little too bright. Let's tone it down. I'm gonna add a little black liner. I'm trying to get better at makeup, y'all. I really am. But this not doing nothing. I feel like I gotta pencil this in, bruh. Be for real. Let's try this one. I just need to neutralize this a little bit. I feel like it's too bright, you know. And thank you all, everybody that has helped me reach like 1 million views on Instagram. I really appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. You know, a lot of y'all have done a lot in supporting me, and I thank you, and I ask that you continue supporting me. I have merch, I have a whole bunch of things going on. Your support means the world to me, and I think I like this a little bit better. But thank you so much. Please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this here because I really am late for church. But subscribe, comment, share with others, share your thoughts, do all of the things, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, Z's.